All right, looks like we're live and yeah, all set up. So I've gotten a lot of requests recently for this iridescent material that I made a while back. If I'm being honest, I didn't think it would, take off, but it's, I think, third most viewed animation. Anyway, so I figured today I would go ahead and show you guys how I made it. Start a new blend file here, and we have our cube. Well, I could demonstrate on the cube, but we're going to delete it for right now. And we're going to go ahead and add in a plane, right? And this plane is going to be our cloth. Now, it's not going to be incredibly interesting if it doesn't have any geometry on it. So let's go ahead and kind of just go into tab, subdivide it a bunch, and then we're just going to add some displacement just to give it a little bit of texture. This will help with making it look, giving it more of that iridescent look. Let's just go new texture, go to clouds, and then yeah, we could turn this down a little bit. That's pretty pretty sharp. Something like that. Might scale it up a bunch. I'm actually going to go ahead and add in. And then, yeah, so from here, we have our displacement. We can go ahead and turn down the strength just a little bit. And now we can start working on the material. Yeah, pretty much. It's like shiny foil. You know the puddles that you see in like a lot of like parking lots and stuff that are all like rainbowy and stuff. That's essentially what I'm making. Is that look? I don't even know how you describe it. It's pretty weird. I'm just gonna add a subdivision so we can see the smoothness a little bit better and go ahead and shade smooth. And now we can switch to textured view and start working on the material. So let's go ahead, bring down the shader editor like so, hit new material, and we're just gonna go ahead and call this iridescent. I think that's about that right. I don't know. I can never spell it correctly. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start off. We're going to need a noise texture. So let's bring that in, and you can see if we attach the color right now, give it a little bit of time to load, we get this like weird psychedelic look. Well, we don't exactly want it to be this rainbowy, nor in this pattern. And you can also see as we move around, right, it doesn't change. All of this color is stuck to a specific face, right? We want to be able to like rotate around and the rainbow kind of shifts and changes. So for that, I'm going to start off by just kind of establishing some stuff. I have the Node Wrangler add-on. If you don't have that enabled, I highly suggest it. It's free, comes with Blender. So I just hit Control T and it automatically creates a mapping texture or a mapping node and a texture coordinate. Now I'm going to switch this to object just to give it, localized textures. And you can see it kind of becomes a little bit more high detail. So let's kind of scale that down, maybe 3 or something. And the detail will bring up to 8. And that just gives it, you can't really see it in this view, but it just gives it a little bit more roughness. We can increase the roughness actually. Not too much, maybe just 0.1. So we'll go ahead and start with the actual, the fun part of it. So what we're going to need is what's called the layer weight node. And this is probably one of my favorite nodes. What it's going to allow us to do is to mix. I'm just going to mix RGB. And you can see now it's going to mix our noise texture with just this gray color, right? We can make it white, gray, black, whatever we want. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to eventually put a color ramp in here, which is going to be like the main drive for that rainbow color. But for right now, we're going to put the facing into the factor. And so now if we go into the rendered view, this lighting setup kind of sucks. So let me just real quick just model a scene for it to be on. That way we have some better control over the lighting and whatnot. There we go. Hello, Seth. I see your comment. That is the best episode by far. Anyway, back to the tutorial. So we have our mix here, right? And right now it's mix, which I couldn't tell you exactly how all of these different setups work, but the one that works best for this is linear light. And so now you can kind of see, I'm just going to increase it to 0.6. You kind of see a little bit of the changes and stuff. Maybe if we put this in the bottom, you kind of see as we rotate around this, right? It becomes more or less rainbowy depending on how we're, I clipped through the wall, how we're looking at it, right? And that's kind of that effect that we're going for. So if I go, I don't know if this is going to mess up the stream, but let me see something real quick. Shouldn't mess it up, but it might. Looks like it's good. I just want to make sure I'm doing this all right in the correct order. And that's exactly what I was afraid of. So in fact, I did mess up. So this does go on top, right, your noise texture. But then instead of going to the factor, this goes to color 2. There we go. So now you can see, now it's pretty weird. It does some pretty wacky stuff. And we're going to go ahead and just change this to like 0.6 or something. Get a little bit more of the rainbowiness. And then we're going to bring this through a color ramp. And you can see right now, because our color goes from black to white, it just kind of converts it into like this gray mess. So we're going to go ahead. You want 6 little, whatever you want to call these, bars. And we're just going to change the first one to red. Second one to orange, right? We're just gonna like create a rainbow, basically. Third one to yellow. Next one to green, something like that. Then we'll go to blue, and finally toss in a little bit of purple. Right, and now we have something that kind of looks cool, and as we rotate around it, right, and the camera view adjusts, it does some pretty wild stuff. And so what we want to do with this is we want to add another mix RGB. I'm just going to duplicate this one from over here. And this one we just want to be a mix. And so now you can see this is going to be, right, if we darken this all the way up, it's just the rainbow. And if we make it all the way white, right, you can see it really just kind of messes with the saturation. I do like that idea. I really want to try and model the Invincible, because it's actually a relatively simple design. I know I'm going off topic, but that was pretty cool when I watched it in space with Markiplier. The VFX were actually pretty stunning. Anyway, let me finish this up, and then we do have some extra time. Maybe maybe we could try and make something cool. So I'm gonna start just kind of bring this down a little bit. And then the last key that you're gonna notice from the thumbnail is metallic all the way up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can decrease the roughness if you want. Go back into textured view. And yeah, that's the iridescent look, right? And then if this was cloth rather than just some displacements and stuff, that would affect kind of what we see. But you know, if I increase the strength and stuff, like it even changes just like that. Because it's based on, basically you can kind of see it right now. Wherever the camera's looking, if it hits a face directly, it's going to be on this side of the color ramp, right? But if it's like a bounce light, you know, if it hits this and then bounces off and touches this, it's going to gradually go down this color ramp more and more and more. And that's what gives us kind of that, what's the best word for it? I don't know. That randomness. Anyway, so you want me to make the sun? Is that what you want? I can make a sun, yeah. That's the end of this tutorial, pretty much, right? So I'm going to save this. You know, iridescent tutorial. And now that I've kind of gone through that, what do you say? We make something new, right? We start a new thing. RGB foil, yeah, pretty much. And so, what do you guys want me to make? You want me to make the sun? Seems like something you guys want to see. I don't know. We have any other ideas? Because I mean, the sun. We could make the sun, but I'll admit it's kind of boring. So we should make the sun and then put something else there. What else should be in this space? Any other ideas? Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much the case. Sun and Earth. Interesting. Okay, so you want the whole darn space setup. Well, all right. We could probably do something like that. 1-to-1 scale of Earth. I'm gonna have to do a hard pass on that one. That's a bit much right there. Well, let me show you how easy it is to make the sun for starters. We make a sphere. This is what the sun looks like, right? And we go into this view and we kind of drag it off here. Boom, there's the sun. But you're probably like, well, we gotta texture it, right? Obviously. So let's open the shader editor again, drag it up so we can still see our sun. We'll zoom in a little bit. And can I make it animated? Yes, I can. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have our texture view here, right? It's just a blank material. Now let's go ahead and toss in I think I'm gonna use Musgrave texture, which will be pretty fancy. What does this look like? Yeah, so now you see it's starting to look more like the sun, right? We got oh, you want the solar flares. I could probably do solar flares. We'll see. Right now, let's kind of crank up this detail and the scale way down. Now it's definitely starting to look like the sun. Let's toss this into emission strength, probably. And the emission color is going to be orange color. What? Why is it blue? That's weird. Anyway, surface color, make it sun-like. There you go. That's a sun. What the heck? There we go. Now it's starting to look like the sun. Let me turn off this light. Why is it? That's really weird. It's doing some pretty wacky stuff. I'm gonna see what it looks like. Okay, rendered. There we go. That looks more normal. Maybe like here. I think that's what we want. I'm trying to get that like orange look on the bottom. How do we do that? That's weird. I want it to be like, I want the whole thing to glow. How could we do this? What if we'll do a mix RGB, make the top color this, bottom color also that, just in case I mess up and put the wrong one in the wrong place. And then this will plug into one of these. That do it? Why did, oh, because it's all, okay. So now we got that. Instead of white, let's go red. And now we have a little bit of a sun kind of look. So look an Eevee. Does that look better? Turn on bloom. There we go. That's like a sun, right? We'll do multiply. Give it more. There we go. Look at that. That is a sun right there. That's pretty sun-like. Make that brighter. Heck yeah. Maybe we'll toss in some weird stuff right here where it's actually, you know, does some weird fiery stuff. The closer you get to black. Do something like that. Ooh, I like that. That's very fiery. Can I make this higher? I can't. Does that do anything? No, it doesn't. Dang. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Dimension. So now, this looks like the sun. We're getting much, much closer. So I think, see, let me increase this a little bit, make it a little bit less like that. What does it look like in cycles? Does that look cool? It does look cool. But actually, Eevee's doing it right now. I'll probably end up using cycles in the end because I love cycles. But another thing that's really going to sell us that this is the sun is if we go to world settings. There's my notes. Okay. In our background, we're going to add in a noise texture. If you can't tell, noise texture is like the best texture out there by far, or maybe not the best, but one of the most commonly used. I'm just going to toss in a color ramp. Now what this is going to allow us to do, if we set our scale to like 500, right? We can now increase our black value until, wait, do we have to be in cycles for this? It's weird, that's not working. Hold up a second. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it wouldn't work in that view, but now you can see we're in space. Look at that. It's freaking space. We love space. And if we switch back to Eevee, it should still be there. There we go. Look at that. Now we have the sun in space with a bunch of tiny little stars everywhere. I'm going to drag this up a little bit. I don't know why they disappear in this view. It's kind of stupid, but yeah. So there's two things that we could do. Do we want to focus on the sun and animate the sun doing something? Or do we want to make a planet? What do you think? I'll let you guys decide. Any ideas? Hmm. Well, how would we do something funky with the sun first, and then we might make a plan? I don't know. That's a whole nother tutorial. I actually already made a tutorial on that. Can I make Luke? No. Just not Star Wars, not modeling people. Oh, like, um, let's see. What if, hold on a second. I'm gonna create a curve. Which one would be best? Probably path, I would say. Go into edit mode. And now go to this. I don't just see. And now this, I'm gonna turn on proportional editing. Move this up. And that should give us, see this like arch right here that it's creating? This is what the actual curve is gonna look like. What I wanna do with this is bring back the sun, go into this view, drag it up something like this, and scale it down. Bring it up, S, Z, something kind of like that, right? Now you can see it's kind of intersecting the sun. What I want to do is set origin to geometry and, oh wait, no, to 3D cursor, and then geometry to origin. And that's going to recenter our sun on this world origin, I guess. That's how you'd say that. Now I'm going to drag this curve onto here. And let's see if this will work. Basically, what I want to do is Alt-D RX 30. Why not? And we'll just kind of rotate that around a bunch. Select everything but the sun. Go into this X view. Scale it up a bunch. And now you can see we kind of have these rings going around the sun. I'm going to Alt-D R Z90. And now you see we have rings going in all directions. What is your idea? I'm just going to randomize the rotation on a couple of these. Curious about, can I make a void black hole type thing? Yes, yes I can. That's a bit more complicated. And honestly, just so that I don't like muddle stuff up, you know, this tutorial being about iridescent cloth and all that, I might just start a new tutorial just to kind of give it its own topic, you know. But basically what I was doing with these was also making them the sun material. Why did the world change? No, don't. Why? Yeah, now we kind of have those rings, and what I'd want to do with this is make it go away. Sun rings. Why is the world changing every time I do this? That's not what? What the heck? Is it trying to convert the world to... That's weird. Hold on a second. Why? Let's fix this. Let's get out of world. That might fix it. Sun rings. And then here, we'll just connect this, duplicate it, toss on another color ramp. This one being from black to white, height into factor. And then this we're going to toss into the alpha. And you're going to see that's going to turn it like all black for a second. And we just kind of do like that, right? And then it's not going to work because we're in Eevee. But if we go to cycles, you can kind of see this. I'm going to make these a little bit larger. You can kind of see it's just like the rings and stuff, but they're not like fully there, right? They're sort of invisible. And basically what that's doing is this alpha node right here in this color ramp, it's basically saying, okay, so wherever the color is black, make it transparent. And wherever it's white or anything lighter than black, show it, right? In a opacity gradient. Anyway, let's go ahead and render this out. Actually rotate a couple more of these. Just make them more random, you know. Ooh, that's a fun thing. Detail a little bit more of that. I'm just trying to randomize these a bit and give them something new. Yeah, that should work. Now we'll just set this down to like 48 or something like that. I like that idea, just doing a random video where you guys give me ideas. I might do that after this because I have time. So just kind of making your guys' ideas. I like that. It'd be nice if, you know, there was more than one person giving ideas, but you know, that's fine. Another thing I want to do, we're going to render this out. Wait, hold on. No, turn off the light. The light needs to go away. This is space. There's no light. I don't know why you guys can't see the renderer. I tried to set it up so that would be its own tab, but for some reason it wasn't working. So what I want to do now is I want to go to the compositor, use nodes, and we see we have this render layers, right? Basically what that is this is what I just rendered. We'll make a viewer node so we can see it. And here's, is it V? No, V? Yes, V. Okay, so you can see this is our render, right? It's the sun. Now, oh, that's cut. Hold on. I forgot. I always forget. I get Control and Shift mixed up when trying to join nodes like this. I always think it's Control, but it's actually Shift. Control deletes all the nodes. So now if we do glare, basically what this is Eevee has a bloom feature, right? Cycles does not, so you have to do it in the compositor. And if we make this, what's ghost? I forget. Oh, wow. All right, so that's fancy. If we make this fog glow, now you can see we kind of have, wherever it's like glowing, right? We have kind of like a fall off of the light. And that kind of gives it a little bit more realism. To high, no, switch it to low. So it's really glowing. And mix, what does mix do? Oh. Just kind of made it 8-bit for some reason. And that completely takes it down. Perfect. So now we can adjust this. I'll go a little bit lower. We'll just keep it at 0. Why not? Size 9. Perfect. Look at that. Now, if we wanted, we could do something fancy. Make it black and white. But that's a different thing. I've been experimenting with a lot of old film stuff recently, working on a project. We're shooting the whole thing on just a normal camera, but we want to kind of create that look of like 35mm kind of stuff. So I've been experimenting with creating node setups in Blender and all that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, what else could we do here? Could we what do we have? We just do that color balance. We make it blue. It's not gonna make it blue. How do you make it blue? Forget. Clearly not that. But I can make it like darker and like way more intense. Or that's way too bright. I can just kind of put a whole filter over the whole thing. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, bring down the, oh, too much. Bring down the glowing a little bit. And honestly, I'm happy with that. I think that turned out well. So now that we have all this set up, I'm gonna just render it again. You guys still can't see the render, which doesn't make any sense. And then I'll just like post this on Instagram later today or something like that. The sun.png. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this tutorial, since this was supposed to just be iridescent cloth, and I'm going to start another one where you guys can give me cool ideas, and we'll try and, make them. We'll see what we come up with. Let me go ahead and just save this file. And yeah, so if you guys want to stay on, I'm going to start the new stream in probably about 2 minutes after I just rework the title and everything. And yeah, thank you.